Hiya, I'm Davin from Brewbitz.com. Behind the camera, as usual, we've got James. Say hello, James. Right, today I thought we would brew up a parsnip wine. I've got quite a lot of parsnips in my garden, and I thought, what better to do with them to brew them up? I'm a little bit low on previous years, and I haven't made it since 2012, so I thought it's about time to give it another batch. Okay, what are you going to need to make some parsnip wine? Well, you're going to need 3 pounds of parsnips. This is one from my garden. If you haven't got a little veg patch with parsnips in, then what you can do is pop down to your local greengrocer's and see if he's got any sagging parsnips out the back that he's willing to give you for a small donation to his beer fund. What else are we going to need? Okay, we're going to need 3 pounds of sugar. We're going to need half a pound of raisins to make some raisin juice. And here I've got some oat chips. Oat chips just add that extra little bit of depth, extra bit of flavour, but if you don't want to, you can leave them out. They're not for everybody's taste. However, what we'll also need is some Campden Tablets. We're going to need some citric acid, or if you prefer, you can use a lemon. Some Pectolase, some Yeast Nutrient, some yeast, and also something to sterilise everything with, in this case I'm using sodium metabisulfate. We're also going to need a few bits of equipment. We're going to need a couple of buckets, a preserving pan. We're also going to need Demi-John, a jug to measure everything out, a hydrometer and trial jar, a thermometer, a syphon, spoon, and a potato masher. Right, one final ingredient that's needed, and that's something to keep my vocal cords lubricated. As I said, this is a 2012 bottle of parsnip wine. And after this, I've only got 1 bottle left, so it's about time I get brewing. Before we go any further, we need to do a little bit of preparation. We're not actually going to start making the parsnip wine for another 24 hours because we need to make some raisin juice. So what we're going to do is we've got our half pound of raisins there. I'm going to take 3/4 of a pint of boiling water. I'm going to leave those for the next 24 hours. They're going to plump up, they're going to really absorb all of that water, and then we start having the fun tomorrow, mashing it all out with our potato masher. Yesterday we got our raisin juice going. Now today it's time to get our parsnips going. I drank all of the bottle of parsnip wine last night, so I'm on cups of tea today. Right, first thing to do, we need to get 3 pounds of parsnips. My lovely scales and my big parsnips. 1, 2, I'm a little bit over, but that's fine. Okay, so what do we do with our parsnips? Well, the skin on the outside of these is absolutely lovely. We don't really want all the mud that's around the top of here, and you can see I've got a few bits of mud, and in this one here I've got, come on in James, have a quick look. Got a bit of worm damage or slug damage where they've tried eating in, so I'm going to have a good look to make sure there's no slugs and what in there a little bit later. But what we're going to do is just going to give them a good scrub. I'm sure you can all do that quite easily. We've given our parsnips a blooming good scrub. Just one thought, how do the supermarkets make them so beautiful and white with no mud on whatsoever? Really difficult. What we're going to do now is we're going to chop the top off, like so. And what we need to do, we're not going to bother peeling them, we're just going to slice them quite evenly into about 1/4 inch thick slices. Ta-da! The next thing we need to do is we need to take a preserving pan or large saucepan, and we need to fill it up with 8 pints of cold water. I've got my 8 pints or a gallon of water now in my preserving pan, and all I'm going to do, still cold at the moment, I'm just going to pop the parsnips in. Come on in, James. Look at these lovely, beautiful parsnips. They're gorgeous, aren't they? I love the smell of parsnips. Okay, we're going to bring this to the boil. Once it's up to the boil, we're going to turn the heat down a little bit, get it simmering. We're going to simmer it for about 20 minutes or so until the parsnips are soft but not mushy. Our parsnips have been boiling away now for about 15-20 minutes, getting nice, almost ready. So I thought it's about time that we showed you what we need to do now with our raisins. So last night we put some boiling water, 3/4 of a pint of boiling water over our half a pound of raisins. And all we're going to do is take our potato masher and we're going to just squish them. All we're trying to do is just squish them. Right, I think those are suitably squished. So now we've squished our raisins, we need to get the juice out of them. To do that, I'm going to use a little bit of muslin. I'm going to pop it over the top of a bowl, nice and easily. I'm going to pour my raisins in. There we go. And now we're going to give them a good squeeze to get all that juice out. Go on in, James, have a look at this, because this is our raisin juice. And James, if you notice, this is all we've got left of our raisins. So if you're making a Christmas pudding or what should you make with it? Anything. Blooming lovely. Right. Just need to put this aside, cover it with a bit of cling film, put it aside for use a bit later. Right, parsnips. As you can see, they're still boiling away. Let's have a look and see how they're doing. I'm still a little bit firm at the moment, so I'm going to leave those for another 10 minutes. Right, it's been a few more minutes. Let's grab another piece. Oh yes, that's a lot better, isn't it? Just go yeah, lovely. Okay, right. I'm just going to turn off the heat and let it cool down for a few moments, and then we're going to strain it off. I've taken the parsnips off the heat, ready for the next stage, and in my bucket here I've put a straining bag. I'm using here a sparging bag. And what I'm going to do, very carefully because it's still really hot, come on in James, is gently pour this in. Nice and gently, don't want to splash it up and catching you. Careful you don't get steamed, James. Ooh. Like I am right now. Oh, that was hot. That really was hot. Oh, here they all go. Oh, that's hot on the fingers. There we go, lovely. Right, I'm just going to leave this sit here for a few moments so that any excess or any extra water that's in the parsnips can just drip out. Right, so they've had a little bit of time to drip and drain, so I'm going to take off the muslin bag now, a couple of pegs at a time. Oh, the smell is lovely. Oop, a little bit hooked up there. Okay, I'm going to pop them in a bowl and let them cool down. As you can see, James, it's a lovely yellowy, creamy liquid. And what I'm going to do right now is, in my sterilised jug, I'm just going to take a small sample, pop it into my trial jar for my hydrometer. Well, I'm going to pop this in the fridge to cool down. That's going to allow me to take a hydrometer reading a little bit later so I can work out exactly how much sugar I'm going to need to add. Okay, in the meantime, the rest of our parsnip juice needs to go back on the boil. We need to boil it for about 45 minutes. My sample that I took a little bit earlier has cooled down now to about 20 degrees. So I've taken a hydrometer reading. This has told me how much sugar has already come out of the parsnips and therefore how much sugar I need to add to get it to my desired percentage of alcohol. Ideally I want my wine to be about 13.5, 14%. So I've worked it out, I need to add 2 1/4 pounds of sugar to mine. If I'd added 3 pounds of sugar, at this moment in time, my wine would be coming about 17 to 18%. It's a little bit high for my personal taste, but do whatever you wish. My parsnip juice has been boiling away for the last 30 minutes, and now it's taking it off the heat, and we just need to pour it into the bucket again. Still extremely hot. Still getting hot fingers. Lovely. And to this now, I'm going to add my sugar. And we need to give this a good stir and get all the sugar dissolved. Next, we're going to take our raisin juice, and in that goes. Lovely. I'm also going to add a teaspoon of citric acid, or you can add your lemon at this point. If you're going to use a lemon, I suggest you slice it up into thin slices and pop them all in. Okay, give it a good stir, mix all that together. And lastly, I'm going to add my oak chips. These are just pieces of oak. This is going to give a lovely flavour, lovely smell to the finished wine. And in that goes. Give that a good stir in. Don't worry, when we come to the next few stages, the oaks will actually drop to the bottom. We won't be sitting on the top like they are now. Have a quick look, James. Lovely, because what I'm going to do now, back to me, I'm going to put the lid on and I'm going to leave this now somewhere to cool until it's about 20 degrees. I've let it all cool down. Can I have a quick look, James? I've taken a reading with my thermometer and it's showing about 20 degrees. So it's time to do the next bits, which is where we're going to add the Pectolase, which is this one. And we're going to add a teaspoon of Pectolase. In it goes. Because we've boiled the parsnips, this is going to help prevent any pectin haze and help clear the wine when we come to putting it in the Demi-John and getting it nice and clear and sparkling for ready to bottle. Okay, one of the other things we need to add is some yeast nutrients. Now, yeast nutrient comes in a couple of forms. Here I'm using vitamin B1 tablets. Come and have a look, James. And all I'm going to do with these, I'm going to put these on a teaspoon, and with a second teaspoon, I'm going to put the two together, crunch them together, and squeeze and twist at the same time. and hey presto, you end up with a powder. So that goes in on the top. And I'm going to take my spoon and I'm going to give it a quick stir in. I've taken a sample in our trial jar and I've put the hydrometer in and it's coming out at 1.090. So that's going to give us a finished wine of about 14, just over 14%, which is good. Right, that goes back in. Let me give my hydrometer a quick swirl off so it doesn't get sticky. So now it's time to add the yeast. In here I'm just using dried active yeast, all-purpose yeast, and I'm just going to put a teaspoon in. Easy as that. Going to give it a quick stir. Lovely. I'm going to pop the lid on now. Just gently around it. This is now going to go into my warm cupboard for about a week, and I'm going to test it, and in about a week it's going to go into a Demi-John so that it can ferment to dryness.